Thanks for tuning into our seller interview series. Up today, we've got an e-commerce business for sale in the medical niche. Created in March 2010, this business makes $6,036 in net profit, and the listing number for this site is 40518. Now, we do these interviews to give potential buyers more information about both the seller and the sites they're looking to purchase. We hope these insights are helpful for you in making a buying decision. We've got the seller with us today to go through the business and cover everything from niche selection to traffic and monetization. So thanks for coming on.
Thank you, Gregory. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no problem, man. So just to introduce you a little bit to our audience, can you tell us a little bit about your background in building and running online businesses?
Yeah, I'd have to say this is actually my first foray into building an e-commerce business. Well, I graduated in engineering a long time ago, and I worked for some Fortune 500 companies like Autodesk. They were in the software business, and Intuit, they makers of QuickBooks. And then I was with Intuit for about 4 or 5 years and took some business development roles and worked in a number of different small to medium-sized businesses, selling products to them, helping them grow. And then there was a merger of a division, so I got laid off from that, and I decided, you know what, let's try some businesses. After leaving Intuit, I tried a couple of online businesses that didn't work out. Invested in a website called Creative Crash. It's still working. The guy owns it. And then I tried an informational product with selling how to get a job as a game designer, game player. And all my ads were running through Yahoo, and Yahoo changed their policy, so my business died. So then I was in another market, and I put some more qualifications into what this business would look like. I wanted an online business. I wanted to sell some kind of physical product that helped people. I wanted to have pretty good margins, but I wanted it to be disruptive, where there was a big potential to build a business. And what I meant by disruptive is I looked at the existing type of distribution for these products. And most people realize that they need the product, and they'll go locally, and they'll be charged or quoted prices from $1,500 for one of the devices to $3,000 to $6,000. I think I've heard prices all the way up to $10,000. I had the opportunity to purchase some of these products from vendors, and I asked them if I could purchase these and sell them online, what would it cost me? And they said, look, this is what it's going to cost. Here's your cost of goods. And it was a fraction of what they were selling through face-to-face sellers. So all the criteria met, followed in, number one, number two, number three, and I said, let's give it a go. So that's kind of how we started this business.
That is intriguing. That's such a wide profit margin. I'm sure, obviously won't mention the product, but knowing your product, I can only say I've seen it in direct mail to my dad. I'm sure I'm going to get direct mail for that kind of product later on in my life, but I have never really seen anyone else take it online. So that is a intriguing fact that you built an e-commerce business around this. So how does it primarily make money? Obviously, people come in and buy the product. Is there any other products that you are also offering on this website?
Yeah, you can sell accessories with the products. There are lower price point, lower margins, but there's always opportunities. In a funnel, you look for products that people need before they need my medical product. And there's many products out there you can add on to the product line. I don't have all of those there. I'm kind of specializing. You really don't need all those different products to sell it, but you can definitely add those.
Now, as far as why you are selling the business, you said the business has super good margins, is obviously making a pretty decent cash flow. Why are you selling the business? Why not just keep it?
Yeah, it's time to move on. I'm an entrepreneur, and I've gotten another job offer from a company that I helped build about 10, 15 years ago. A colleague of mine built a company called Turbo Squid, and we raised $4.5 million building it. He's got another really cool idea, and people are ready to throw money at it, so it looks like another good opportunity. So I need to move on to do something else. I mean, there's two reasons. One, I'm an entrepreneur, and you kind of, after a while, you go, okay, you get this itching feeling that you need to try something different. And number two, I've got this guy in Florida that I used to work with. He's got a great new idea. It looks like a great product, and it's kind of more up on my line because I used to be in 3D animation. I was in the military, and it all has to do with kind of virtual small arms training with simulators and a gun. So it's a completely different industry, and a little bit more excited about that. I'd be dealing with defense departments. I'd be dealing with police departments. I used to run a marketing campaign for the police departments, and I used to be in the military. So it's kind of a lot of things coming together where that looks good.
Kind of the meeting of all the elements, eh?
Yeah, there's a great, it's like Steve Jobs' commencement address on Stanford. If you ever get a chance to listen to that, he goes, just think about the interest you had when you were younger. Like, he was interested in calligraphy when he just got out of college. Why would that make sense to him? But later when he was designing Apple, calligraphy was really important to how that was, leaps and bounds above Microsoft's products. So I looked at, my background and I said, okay, man, John, you spent 4 years in the military. You worked for a defense contractor for link flight simulation. You were in 3D animation for nearly 10 years. You Second Amendment guy. So, a lot of things come together, said, look, this is probably where we're going to go.
First of all, that commencement speech is great. I've listened to that. Jobs is a great speaker.
Yeah.
Second of all, just out of curiosity, are you using the cash from the sale of this business to help speed up that new business with your friend and employer, or do you have other plans for the money?
Yeah, that's an idea. I mean, that's one of the ideas is definitely use some of that towards helping them fund the business. Yeah. Or I think with this business, I think I'll, here's the plan. I'm 54. I'm going to say, look, okay, let's take a month off and just kind of get our gears up, recharge, and then go work on the DART, what we call it, the virtual small arms trainer.
So moving a little bit more into the site history and the nitty gritty of the site itself, when you first built the site, what was the trajectory of the business for those first few weeks and months?
Yeah, it was pretty good. I mean, the first year we did 40,000 in sales, and the next year was we did it even more. It was like 200 to 300,000, and it kept moving up, and it was doing really well. At that point, the cost per click with Google was fairly inexpensive, and that was primarily our source of leads. So, yeah, it was a great trajectory, definitely.
Very cool. So you were using paid ads to drive traffic to your business?
Yeah, mostly just Google PPC at that time.
So nowadays, would you say your traffic is a little bit more diversified, or are you mainly?
Oh, yeah. Google traffic's diversified. Google's always changing the algorithm. They're always changing the structure. For instance, the recent structure changes. There's no ads on the side. There are only 4 ads on the top. That's for being mobile. So the cost per click became a little bit more, it's become more expensive to do. So you need to find other alternative sources. So what I've done, sometimes you can get caught doing that, or you can say, look, okay, I got to diversify. So the first thing I did to diversify was, and the first thing you look at is organic traffic. How do we get organic traffic? Well, it's going to be really tough to get organic traffic for the keywords in this industry, because the way Google's doing it with their algorithm today, the only people showing up on 4, 5, and 6 spot in PageRank are .govs, .edus, very sites that get a lot of link juice to them naturally, and they have really natural content. So I looked for probably the second largest search engine that they're not at, and that is YouTube. So I went about and started just making videos, how-to videos, how to do this, how to do that, how to do this. I've got probably 75 nearly videos out there to do that. And that's where we get some of that traffic. We're getting it from that. We're getting it from Google PPC. And we're getting it from affiliates. We now have over 500 affiliates. Now, granted, you got to set your expectations with that on Pareto's Law. It's not 80% of your revenue comes from 20%. In affiliates, it's more like 90% of your revenue comes from 10% of the players. So a lot of those affiliates are coupon sites, but you could still, get them to, put your videos up, and you can get instant sales, and you can get that going with them because I have over 500. But if you can find some sites, like I have this one great site I just signed up, and it's a review site, and he's had it up for nearly 6 years, and he's already driven sales to my site. So if you find more sites like that, you're in like gold.
So you actually have your own affiliate program for these products?
Yeah, we use Pepper Jam. That's eBay's account, and we've got 500. And the link juice is pretty good too. It helps you out.
So you have 500 affiliates in the program?
500 affiliates in the program.
Interesting. Did you have any difficulties starting that affiliate program? Are you the one managing it,
No,
or is
no, I
it?
started with an affiliate account manager, a professional group that actually went out there and, they've been in affiliate account management for some 10 years. So they knew how to just reach out to people and how to get them aboard. So that moved fast. That was, they got, a couple hundred within a couple months, and then now it's at 500.
So are they still the one managing the network, or are you?
No, no, they're not. We parted ways. I didn't think, I just wanted to kind of cut back on expenses on, what these guys actually did. All I found out they did was they created, I tell them, oh, okay, I want to run a coupon or something like a sale for Memorial Day or Black Friday. And they just put an HTML letter together and sent it out from the same platform that I had. And I go, okay, I'm not really sure where they're helping me out. So it's something I could have done myself. So we parted ways after the year contract was up.
Cool. So you brought that all in house now?
Yeah, that's in house. Yeah, it's a piece of cake. Yeah.
Oh, really? So it's pretty easy to manage these affiliates?
Yeah, it's the platform is right there. And if you want to contact all your affiliates, you just create a little newsletter and send it out.
That's awesome, man. It sounds like so for my next question, it sounds like there might be a few things here, but is there anything you did with this business that you apply to future businesses? Like when you go into your next venture down in Florida, like what did you learn from this business that just worked?
What worked is you got to keep trying new stuff. I mean, you can't be dependent on just one lead source all the time. It's just don't delude yourself in that. Google's always changing. Google wants you to spend more. And, Sergey and Brent are wealthy because that stupidity tax with PPC. You've got to be looking for new leads, new sources of leads all the time. I mean, I'm a medical product that applies to baby boomers, which is the largest group of buyers on the planet now. All you have to do is figure out where they are at and contact them. There's already ways to get them. You don't really have a lead problem. It's more of a funnel issue or a funnel challenge.
That's pretty interesting. Baby boomers are absolutely the biggest group of buyers out there right now, and it feels like a lot of times they're just kind of ignored. So many people are spending so much time on the millennials, they've forgotten about the baby boomers, it feels like.
Yeah.
So that is what worked for the business. What have you tried that didn't work?
A couple of years ago, Bing wasn't as profitable. I mean, side by side, Bing wasn't as profitable as Google. That didn't work. I did try a couple direct mail campaigns. The first one I tried coincided with a political campaign. So here's a lesson. Never send a postcard right around in October and November because it's just thrown in the trash.
So I take it your direct mail campaign wasn't a stellar success.
No, look, Dan Kennedy, he's a guru in the internet. Well, not guru in the marketing industry. Many of the baby boomers get most of their information still offline, whether it's direct mail, a newspaper, or something like that. That's where they still get their information. That's moving towards the internet, but they still get it with, offline type of stuff, newspaper, direct mail, or a letter.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming your direct mail campaign was lost in the noise?
That's one of the things I wasn't very good at is direct mail because it's just, it's a big risk. You pay for printing, you pay for the ad, you pay for everything, and then you ship it out. And then you kind of wait and, see the phone call it does. And you really don't know the conversion ratio. Anybody that's on the internet today can see in Google and see what ads working, what ads not working on an hourly basis. And you can cut the A/B test if B fails and find another ad. You can't do that with direct mail. Now, however, with this industry, I would think there's a mix of doing a newsletter or a direct mail piece along with internet at the same time.
There's always been something I've been fascinated by was direct mail kind of combined with an online funnel, using the direct mail piece to get them into the online funnel. I always thought it was a really interesting method.
Yeah.
As far as going back to your traffic and earnings, we talked a bit about how diversified your traffic is, but what about the earnings? So obviously the site is cash flowing really well, but you also have quite a bit of amount of expenses. Could you go into like what your expenses are? Is that just product, or is that also like some paid marketing? What's all going on there?
Yeah, so with expensive, you got, of course, you got your revenue, your top line, and then you got your cost of goods. Our margins are still better than, 50%. But we have the marketing, which is marketing is all about, planning, whether it's Google PPC or trying Facebook or trying, sponsor an email list from a magazine or running an ad. You're always looking for affordable source of leads. You always do that. You can't be static on that. You're always changing. I pay for a subcontractor, which is, tinkering with the site. Because you're at a site, with an internet business, you're always looking for the best conversion ratio. So you're always going to test, headline against that headline. You're always going to test the green button against the blue button. So you're always tinkering with that. You're adding reports. You're adding how to buy a hearing aid on the internet report. You add that and you kind of see what people would like and try it out. Advertising and promotion, that's mostly the bottom line is Google PPC or Bing or LookSmart or Facebook or any type of other type of lead system. We run, of course, the business pays for the health insurance. The business pays for, dues and memberships of, whether you've got membership to Russell Brunson's group or Ryan Dice's digital marketers group. We also pay through office expenses and supplies. That is, papers.
So do you actually have a office as well, or is it a home office?
No, you run this out of your house. No.
Okay, cool.
I run this out of my house, yeah.
So how stable are the earnings? Or do they fluctuate pretty wildly, or are they usually pretty stable?
It fluctuates. I mean, there are buying seasons in an e-commerce business because in reality, it's a retail business. And there are buying months, and there are some months they don't buy. I mean, sometimes, could be a holiday coming up where cash flow is tight for a baby boomer, and they kind of cut back on some expenses. So
right, yeah.
A retail business is always looking for a reason to run some type of special. And that doesn't have to be a discount special. It could be, 2 for 1 or buy one, get that or something.
So do you find yourself kind of more in a dry period then in traditionally rabid periods for the retail market, like, Christmas and November, around that time when retail stores are really ramping up? Is your business kind of more petering out during that period because of the baby boomers kind of tightening their money, or?
It kind of depends. I mean, I've had some good December. So it's like take the Decembers. I mean, you would think that some of the baby boomers would cut back on buying this medical product, but some go, okay, you know what? I need this to help me when my family comes in. So they'll buy the product. Right. I've had some good Decembers and kind of off Decembers. Yeah.
Cool. So you mentioned that you did do, or you were looking at doing some SEO with the site, and then you transferred that idea to YouTube. But how much content is on the site, and how much do you think the buyer would need to add on a monthly basis? I mean, or how many videos would the buyer need to add to the YouTube channel to keep that going?
Organic content, textual content, I add content to the blog probably once a week or a couple times a month. And mostly it's updated stories. You can go to Google News and find out what the latest story is talking about. And I don't really, write the content about that. Some of the content I'll just say, hey, look at this article. This is pretty neat. Let's see if this kind of helps people a lot faster. Videos, I mean, you can keep doing videos and never stop doing that because you want these people to do testimonials for you because you can't fake them. They're just real. You could do videos on how-to videos you probably should never quit doing those. I don't think you should ever stop and say, rest on your laurels and this is going to work. You should keep creating content.
As far as your YouTube videos, I agree. More content is always better. Are you making the videos yourself, or do you have someone that does the video for you?
No, I've had a couple people do videos. I outsourced it to a guy. A couple of videos I outsourced to, and we hit a home run with that one of the first ones. Well, it wasn't the first one. It was 2 or 3, but he hit a home run with it. This video has over 238,000 views.
Nice.
It's the most watched video outside the personal testimonials. There's no other video by anybody else that's got more views.
So is this person the main guy for your videos then? Or
no, he is. He's moved on to other projects because I was kind of a great stepping stone for him. But right now what we do is Videos don't have to be perfect, but what we do is I go, okay, if somebody's asking a question and you hear that question over and over and over again, you can create a video. Just write a little script or outsource it to Fiverr to help you write a script. And then when you're ready for the video, outsource it to a Fiverr and they'll do it for less than $100.
For sure, yeah. A video is a really intriguing way to build your business because it's both obviously organic, but YouTube is also inherently a social media network, so you kind of get kill two birds with one stone there. Really like that.
Exactly. Yeah. You could take those videos and put them back into your Facebook account and just have people watch them. You could spend $1 a day and just have people view them. I go, oh, wow. They look at the video and go, that's great. And you can retarget with Facebook after they watch the video.
Retargeting is amazing. Moving into more of the supply chain, if you will, of the business, how did you go about finding the supplier where you source the product from? Is there other suppliers that you could also source this product from?
Yeah, yes, definitely. I mean, you look in the industry and it's dominated by 6 major players. And here is the biggest advantage here. These 6 major players move 98% of their inventory through face-to-face dealers. They don't want online sellers. Now, the rest of the manufacturers are looking for internet sellers like us, and they are happy to sell it to you. They'll private label it for you. And the beautiful thing about it is the technology inside is exactly the same as the big 6 because they're made at the same manufacturer. A lot of them made at the same manufacturer. This is the same argument that, when you bought a Dell or an HP, it could have an AMD or an Intel inside, but you couldn't really tell the difference. AMDs are a couple $100 cheaper, but still it performed the same way. It used the same operating system, and you couldn't tell the difference. So you can buy products from not the big 6, but all the other manufacturers out there for a fraction of the price, same quality, get that private labeled with your brand name on it.
As far as the website goes, is this on like a Shopify platform? Is it a platform you created yourself?
No, I first started with BigCommerce, and I moved away from BigCommerce because I kind of got annoyed with a couple things. One was they forced you into their credit card merchant processes, which were kind of a higher fees. And 2, every time they did an update, it's a hosted solution, and every time they did an update, it messed with the customization you did with your website. So we moved to Magento. Magento is used by, most of the big, let's say the Fortune 1000 e-commerce companies. It's just really strong. It doesn't take a lot of work to changes anymore. My site is just pretty well stable. It's been running for now 3.5 years. And, if I want to do any HTML on it, I don't really do HTML on it. It's just, you can change, the content in it. You can add pages. That's easy.
So you would say Magento is pretty user-friendly then?
Yeah, I think it's user-friendly. The other thing about Magento is, you could find a credit card processor that's a fraction of the cost, the APR rate. So, you want in any business, especially any kind of e-commerce business, you want to cut costs viciously. I don't want to send 3%, every charge that happens over to Shopify or BigCommerce.
Yeah, it makes sense to go off on your own. I've heard of Magento. I've never really gone into the back end or anything of it, but it is definitely a pretty robust platform for sure.
Yeah, no, it's robust. And there's thousands of developers out there that build third-party products that you can use on the site.
As far as opportunities go, let's say you wanted to keep this business and you weren't going to sell it. What would you say is the least risky path for you to grow this business?
The least risky path is to, you're always in the business to get more leads, more meaningful communications, and more sales interactions. You want to look at sponsoring email lists. Big email lists. First, there's something we've learned about selling to baby boomers. I don't know why it is, but most baby boomers are split. People that purchase these products are usually on the conservative side versus a very liberal side. It's very strange. Not sure it was. But all you have to do is find a lot of websites that you can sponsor emails blast out to that are in the conservative area.
That is an intriguing find. So let's say on the flip
Yeah,
side.
that's after 6 years of Intel. Man, it's
marketing insights.
I'm
man.
also fans of Russell Brunson and Ryan Dice, and if you get to become a member of them, then they'll talk about this. They'll go, look, hey, it's odd, but we don't buy any lists from liberal groups anymore.
Actually, I've heard that in other industries. I didn't realize it would be the same with yours in particular, but
Yeah.
I have heard about that in other industries, that most of the buying power of the baby boomers seem to come from the conservative side, or at least they seem to be the ones that are buying things. I don't know
Yeah.
if the other side has good of a buying power or not, but that is interesting. So let's say you're incredibly risky with this business. You're throwing caution to the wind. How would you really grow this site just super fast?
I think I would go, to really grow this business really super fast, you start sponsoring a ton of emails.
By sponsoring emails, I'm assuming you're talking about like solo ads, right?
Yeah, solo ads in the email. I mean, they'll, for instance, if they send it on an email to their database, you could sponsor it and your content will be the first thing they see when they open up.
Yeah, those are fantastic ways to build out email lists and just traffic in general. It's probably one of the easier ways that I've found, at least, to drive traffic.
Oh, it's a lot faster. I mean, some of the lists out there, you're talking about, some of the sources that we've already contacted and are testing right now are, their emails are 700,000 in their email.
Yeah.
You just
Exactly.
go, holy crap.
It's quite a bit of traffic potential.
Yeah, that could just even if it, then they tell me the guy, the account manager goes, it's a 15% open rate at a 700,000. You're going, holy crap, do the math on that,
That's a really good open rate, especially for the niche.
Yeah, 700,000.
It's in the medical niche that you're a part of, right? Or
yeah, 700,000 and 105,000 opens.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, we're just going, okay, let's let's get the budget and move it this direction.
Speaking of risk, if a buyer came in and checked, they love this website, they put the deposit and they decide to buy it, what is the biggest risk about this business that they need to know, or the biggest risk in general about this business?
The biggest risk is going to be some competitors coming in with really, really big money.
Oh, just really big marketing dollars?
Yeah, because this is a medical product. First, you got to step backwards and look at the size of the audience that's out there. The baby boomers are going to be the largest population of buyers out there on the planet. And there is going to be enormous amounts of money. So step back just one. The traditional, or their current method of distribution is face-to-face. But the technology lends itself to say, why in the world would I have to drive 10 to 15, 20 miles, make an appointment, drive 10 to 15, 20 miles, get all this done, and then get it set up for me and have to drive home, when I could just get online at 10 o'clock at night and have it shipped to me. So there are companies out there that are going, okay, how do we tackle this market? And it's online, because if I want this product, I'd be able to sync it with my iPhone and everything's ready to go.
In terms of, what would you do as a new buyer to help mitigate against that risk? What would you focus on building brand, like a loyal following, or what is it that you would do to try to stop that from being able to happen to you?
Well, I'd still focus on, I think myself, I would still focus on growing the business and keeping it profitable, keeping the margins, and look for opportunities outside, new ways to gain kind of in the ecosystems. For instance, you may want to purchase a site that does repairs, because these products do break, people need to get them repaired, so you purchase a repair site or build a repair site independently. You start looking for ways to do joint venture deals with other people that have complementary products, or you partner with other larger companies or same size companies that, let's say, baby boomers, and just keep pushing forward with getting market share.
Sure, which brings me into my next question. With the work required, can you describe the amount and type of work you do to maintain the site? It sounds like you've got a lot of different marketing pieces going on and various growth channels. So hours are you putting into the site, and what are you doing with it?
I think it's about probably 25, 30 hours a week. One of the technologies I installed recently was a VA chat system from helpflow.net. They're at the site 14 hours a day, 7 days a week, and they filter all the emails and answer 90% of the questions and, send the real important questions over to us. You're always, the site is stable right now. I mean, you could add content to it, but, that doesn't take a lot of time. You could test it different, buttons and stuff, but, I don't think that's going to get a big change in it. The real job is probably to going out and finding new lead sources, sponsor an email list or working JV deals or, creating some kind of ecosystem that you got some kind of perpetual leads coming in.
Right. And as far as someone who comes into this niche and say they're not familiar at all with it, what kind of skills would you say they should have before looking into buying a business like this to run it successfully?
Well, I think with this business, it's customer service. I mean, it's a medical product. One thing is, you got to have a little compassion for the people that, need the product, because I tell you what, they are very thankful. I mean, I've got more reviews and more video reviews, testimonials than I think any of my competitors do. They love it. If it works for them, they're going to tell you about it.
Good. Yeah, for sure, man.
So that's one part. The second part is, just to have an idea of, e-commerce and realizing that you're in a retail business. You're selling products. You got to appeal to customers. You got to keep in front of them and say hi. You got to keep in front of them and inform them. You got to keep in front of them to show them how to do stuff. And, I built a lot of that content already that's moving that forward.
Just to get some more additional information about the website. So say that buyer comes in, they decide to buy the website. Would you be willing to sign a non-compete saying, like, I'm not going to go start this exact same medical product e-commerce store after you sell this business?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's a no compete. I mean, I'll stay on and consult with them for 3 months if they need to, a couple hours a day. But yeah, we're moving to a completely unrelated industry. As I mentioned in the video earlier about, being recruited by a colleague I used to work with 15 years ago.
Right.
So it's completely unrelated industry.
And you mentioned you would give support up to 3 months for the buyers. Is that like email
Yeah, I think so. I mean,
or?
I think you'd probably be able to handle it, 60 days, but 3 months, 4 months, 5 months. What do you need? You got some question in 6 months, give me a call.
Excellent. That's always good when the seller is open for training a new buyer. In terms of, obviously the best case scenario is where a buyer comes in and gives you 100% the listing price. It's the best case scenario for you, best case scenario for us. But would you be open to something like a split or an earnout? Like say they come with 70% up front, they do 30% on closing, or they do 60% up front, and then they do the final 40% over the next 4 months based on hitting certain goals. Would that be something you would be open to at all?
Yeah, I mean, definitely we'd entertain it. I mean, you have to see what it looks like. I can't say yes to the deal until you know what those really look like.
Yeah, the specifics of the deal, of course.
Yeah, the very specifics of the deal. Yeah.
To wrap up this business, to give you guys some more information out there that's listening, again, it was built in March 2010 with monthly revenue of $29,645 over a 12-month average. As expenses of $23,608 with a total net profit of $6,036. Again, this is over a 12-month average. Included in the sale of this website is 14 domains that are used as redirects, 10 test webinars, social media accounts, and over 80 how-to videos with a YouTube account that has over 500,000 views. So if you had to give me your best pitch, why should someone purchase this business?
Well, they could see a big opportunity of supplying products or providing products to the largest growing percentage of the population in the next 10 years. That's baby boomers. This is a product that a very large percentage of those baby boomers need, and you've got a great price, you've got a great distribution method, and this is for somebody that's going to go, you know what? I like to help people. I like them to feel better about themselves, give them more confidence. They can spend time with their grandchildren. This is a great product. It's a great business. It's a great company, and it's looking for somebody that's going to take it to the next level.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much for coming on. For the people out there that are listening in from YouTube and you want more information on this listing, you can go ahead and click the link below this video. It'll take you to our marketplace listings. Now, if you're actually on the marketplace listing and listening to this and you want more information, you can go ahead and click the Make a Deposit button up on the right-hand corner, and it'll take you to the next page in our process. So thank you again for coming on here and sharing this information with us.
Thanks, Gregory. Thanks for having me. Thanks for the time.
No problem.